And today I have a little bit of a tip, a piece of advice that hopefully will help your issues maybe having with inputs in Mortal Kombat 1. For me, I know it has helped me greatly, and it has to do with remapping your buttons. And this isn't something I usually do in NetherRealm games because they're quite simple in terms of buttons. Of course, we have down here, you can change this how you like due to preference. I switch my input window timing in between short and medium. Definitely turn release check off, and input shortcuts, off or on just due to preference, and leave those the same. But what I changed is how my triggers and bumpers work. The front buttons left totally the same, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But what I have, particularly for block and cameo, is that now my cameo is on the left trigger, and my block is on the right bumper. Now my reasoning for this comes individually. There's a reason for both of them separately. So for the block button, I was finding that I was having some issues with kind of going in between blocking and not blocking. So like pressing buttons and blocking when, maybe your opponent is attacking you, you're on defense, and you have to hold down the block button and then release it to press an attack and stuff. And for some reason, it was really feeling not good to me. And maybe just because I haven't been playing a game with the block button in a while, but it just felt really clunky. And what I really noticed it started to feel like was it really felt sticky. And that's because I had the block button, by default, is mapped to the right trigger on the PlayStation 5 controller. And if you hold down the whole trigger on the PlayStation 5 controller, then of course it's gonna take a lot more time and just literal distance for you to release the button and press the button afterwards. So I'm holding this down and I release the trigger slowly. There's a lot of that trigger width. These aren't like any first person shooter triggers or something. You have to release the whole trigger in order for your block to be released. Which just feels really bad, because then you will think you release it and you try to press a button and your button doesn't come out because you were still technically holding down the button and you didn't quickly let go of it and then press the button, which can be really hard to do in high stakes situations. Also, I kept accidentally doing up blocks when I tried to let go of my block and then jump. Like maybe I blocked a projectile and I went to jump. Well, I would accidentally just do an up block because I hadn't fully let go of the block button. So there was a lot of things that just felt really gross and bad because just having the block button on a trigger made it harder to use. So the simple solution is to just put it on a bumper instead, which is a bit more of just a small clicky button where you can hold it down and release it, and it's just on and off. There's no big swing to release it like you do with releasing a trigger, which sounds dramatic, but you can really feel it when you're playing. So yeah, having the block button on right bumper feels really great to me. I can let go and click it and let go as fast as I want, and instantly go into buttons and go into up blocks when I want, or release it and instantly jump. I don't have any kind of input errors with that mostly now. And it also feels good to enhance things as well. So this does change the button you'll be using to do your EX special moves, because now it'll be on the bumper instead of the trigger. But that is the same as it was in MK1 to amplify moves, so it's really not too big of a difference to me at all. You just have to remember it if you have somehow completely gotten used to one day of having it on the trigger. And then the second change I mentioned was to the cameos, and I didn't change this when I was playing with Li Mei. I was playing Li Mei first, and then when I played Sub-Zero with Kano, the cameos were feeling a little, once again, clunky and weird. And because how it usually is you have the right trigger is the block button and the right bumper is the cameo, your right hand was doing a lot. There was just purely from a neuroanatomy perspective, there were way too many nerve signals trying to go to your right hand and comprehend the complex movements. Your thumb is moving in between 4 buttons, your third finger on your right hand is holding down and releasing the block button. It has to release it when you go to press a button, and then your second finger is being used for cameos. And when I was playing Li Mei with Frost, that wasn't a problem because you just click it to do a special move basically as Frost. But with characters like Kano and stuff, you need to like hold it down and then release it, and do it like while you're pressing buttons with your thumb. Like if I'm going forward 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I have to press the cameo button during that, and that is a lot for your right hand to do. And also holding down the right bumper while you're doing other things feels pretty strange. So what was the solution? I ended up putting it on the left trigger, and that feels really, really great to me. It gives my left left hand something to do, because usually it's just the thumb moving on the D-pad, and now it actually has some function. I just have my second finger, my index finger, on the trigger right now. You could have had it on the bumper, but for me the trigger just feels more comfortable, and you don't need to be like extra precise and instant with your cameos like you do with your blocks. So for me this just feels really comfortable, and it really helps me with like Sub-Zero stuff, where like I call out a cameo and I'm holding it down, and I'm totally fine holding it down. I can release it whenever I want, and it's really no problem at all. I can summon, do whatever, cameos assets, no worries. And it just, yeah, particularly for the things where I'm like doing a knife toss, or this one where I hold it down and I can just release it whenever I want. It's like super simple, and you can hold it down super easily without it like occupying any extra effort or whatever in your mind. Like with this as well, if I do like the summons in the middle of a combo, that's really easy, and I didn't have to, you know, put any more effort on my right hand. And yeah, this was just a long way of saying I think this button layout is extremely helpful, and you should definitely try it. At least just spend a day or a few hours practicing with this input when the game comes out, because I think you will really appreciate it in the long run before you get super stuck into the feel of the other layout, because I just don't think it's optimal. The blocking feels too clunky because you have to move the whole trigger when you're on a gamepad, and having cameos on your bumper is just too much work for your right hand. So put your cameo on your left trigger and put your block button on a bumper so that you can do it faster. And yeah, let me know if you try it out. Let me know how it goes. I hope it helps, because it helped me a ton. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.